Hey guys, it's Andrew from Childcare Marketing by Wave Digital here again. This week I wanted to talk about how Childcare Marketing by Wave Digital actually begun. And the story is a real personal one. And so I guess it started back when I was in high school. I had a dream of working in childcare, and this was back when I was in high school back in New Zealand. And I tried to get a job back then, and it would normally be like an apprenticeship. And it was really hard to get a job in the industry as a male. And every phone call and every door I sort of tapped on, I got turned away. And so it basically gave up on the dream and ended up working, having a long career in information technology, and a great career too. Ended up in leadership, and I really loved leadership, and especially dealing with the people side of the role. And then when I was 40, which was 10 years ago, I ended up, just reflecting back at my life, and I guess what a lot of guys do, and I still had this dream of working in early childhood and childcare. And so at that point, my wife and I and our two young kids, we did what a lot of people do that live in Australia. We ended up buying a caravan and travelled around Australia for a year. And at that point, I also studied childcare, became a qualified early childhood educator, and at that same point investigated actually buying our first childcare centre. And by the end of the trip, we were the brand new owners of a centre in rural Queensland. And so the dream was alive. And but as soon as we completed the purchase and started running the centre, the dream very, very quickly turned into a nightmare. And we thought our passion and our knowledge of the early childhood industry. My wife she's worked in early childhood her entire life, and we thought that would be enough, but it certainly wasn't. So little did we know. In this area where we purchased it, there was a major oversupply of childcare centres. We ended up buying the worst one in the entire area, and the facility itself was an absolute disgrace. And so very, very quickly after 4 months, we ran out of money, and was at probably one of the lowest points of my life. So somehow we managed to make payroll every fortnight. We managed to pay our taxes, and we were on the verge of bankruptcy. And so would be the most stressful time of our life. And then we were almost on the point of bankruptcy a second time. And the kind of change that came was Carolyn, my wife, she gave me a book, and it was a book about childcare marketing. And I was ready to try anything. If anyone said to try something, I tried it. And so this book I read in a day, and I just started implementing the things from the book. Just started doing them one at a time. And where we really sort of started to get some traction was actually in Facebook, and specifically in paid ads in Facebook. And so I started running ads. Our phone started to ring with inquiries, and our enrollment started to go up. And this was at a point where we were losing $20,000, per month. And we had no money, but somehow, an absolute miracle, we managed to get through. And I think part of the reason why I guess I was a little bit like a duck to water is, with my background in information technology, I'm also a website designer, and so then as the occupancy and enrollment started to go up, we sort of started to clear out our debt. We started to make money, not much. The first 4 years we didn't get paid, so that was a really big sacrifice. And then after those 4 years, we ended up buying our second centre, and then our third and fourth, and off we went. And when talking with some of my business mates, they're sort of saying, look, Andrew, what you've learned here, you need to package this up and offer this as a service. And I kind of reflected on, how many people were like me that were, on the verge of bankruptcy, losing everything, a childcare centre owner. And if I was able to literally, able to help us from ending up on the street, I would be able to help other people as well. And so, and that's where Childcare Marketing by Way of Digital came. So, and I get so much satisfaction. I remember there's one of our customers. I remember having a phone call or video call with him like this, and I was just sharing him with my story, and then when I shared around on the point of bankruptcy, and I just see him going like, "Yep," he goes, "Yep, I was almost ready to file for bankruptcy." And with that customer, so he had 40 enrollments, and he was losing money. He was in a bad way, and only within sort of 6 months we got him up to I think it was about 90 enrollments or something, like just majorly. And earlier this year he was cruising around the Mediterranean on a ship. So I just remember that story, and not that I've been cruising around on a ship around the Mediterranean. That would be nice, but how much satisfaction is that, knowing that we got to play a little part of changing someone's lives. And and that's why I love the difference that we can make through digital marketing, and helping fellow childcare owners, like myself. And it's such a privilege to be able to do that for people. And and so if you want to have a chat or a talk about how we might be able to help your centre, we're not a right fit for everybody, but we're about helping the industry, and about helping people get their centres full and profitable, and because it can change people's lives. And I just remember back to that first centre that we purchased. That was so terrible, and now it's 100% full. It's only a 75 place, but we have over 100 families on the wait list. We're the most expensive in town, and look, I must say, I don't actually have a lot to do with it because the team is just so fantastic. So digital marketing can really make a difference. And whether you use us or you use someone else, just make sure that, they know the childcare industry, they know, the early learning industry, because it is very, very unique. It is very, very different, and does require a type of marketing and branding that is very different to normal consumable products and service-based industries. So, I'd love to meet you. Feel free to reach out through any of our channels. And it's lovely to share that story with you.